What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of trying to film this video for the third time. As always, I'm your host, Zach Cronin, and today we are going to be talking about Joel Embiid's performance throughout these Olympic Games in Paris, but more specifically, how he played against Brazil, a game that is currently still on as the while I'm recording this, with the U.S. up 104 to 74 with about 7 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. I had filmed this video earlier today, two times actually, because I didn't like how it turned out either time. And it was going to be in defense of Joel Embiid. He had probably the most underwhelming performance throughout the qualification games. He only shot 42% from the field, averaged 9.5 points, the majority of which came when he scored 15 against Puerto Rico. But overall, he really did not have an impactful performance for Team USA, which was odd considering the level of player that Embiid has been throughout the last couple of regular seasons. And I still believe everything I said in those previous videos. I just didn't really like my delivery on it. I didn't feel like I was being respectful towards Joel. Maybe I'm just hyperanalyzing the situation. But the long story short was that I had chalked up Embiid's poor performance not only to him playing poorly, but also him falling victim to just what USA basketball is and the hierarchy that forms throughout any Olympic Games. Where, yes, Embiid is one of the best players in the NBA, but when you come to the international stage and you're on the same roster as Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, you are automatically going to be bumped down because in these types of contests, especially with Team USA, the all-time greats supersede the contemporary greats. That's not to say that I don't think Joel Embiid will finish as an all-time great. I think he certainly has the capability to do that, but it's just a different environment. And it is an environment dictated matchup by matchup. Embiid didn't play against South Sudan, didn't play particularly well against Serbia. However, in this game against Brazil, I don't have the total minute numbers because ESPN doesn't show that for some reason. But I would say that he played probably like 10 to 12 minutes or so. I don't believe he's played in the second half yet, but he managed to finish with 14 points, 7 rebounds on 5 of 6 shooting from the field, and he only attempted one free throw. It was actually Embiid and Booker that allowed Team USA to get off to this ripping start. And I think the ripping start in this game, and I think we just have a further encapsulation of how difficult it is to fit in with USA basketball if you're brought on as a complimentary piece, which, weird enough as it is to say, Joel Embiid was. He was seen as some sort of complement to LeBron, KD, and Steph, whether it be as a role man, someone who could play in the post. That's what his role was going to be. Everyone on this roster has a clearly defined role. I've talked about it numerous times before, and they're all to best complement LeBron, KD, and Steph. Some days, Devin Booker's going to get a lot of play. Other days, Jason Tatum is going to get a lot of play. Some days, Derek White's going to get a lot of play. Other days, Drew Holiday is going to get a lot of play. I really don't believe that there are any guaranteed minute allocations beyond what Kerr is giving to James, KD, and Curry. There's just too much talent on this roster. There's too much versatility on this roster as well to have a hard formed rotation because things are going to change. Every team is different. Serbia was different from South Sudan, who's different from Germany. Should the United States face Germany in the final, everyone's different. Every team requires a different philosophy. And up until this point, Embiid just hadn't developed a rhythm. And I think that the other videos I formed didn't really give enough credit to that. I just felt very weird about how I went about talking about these situations. It also would have been totally disregarded, the video would have been, by his performance in this game. And I didn't want to I didn't want to publish a video before this game had finished because there was just something telling me that, hey, you're going to record this video and you're going to jinx Joel Embiid. It's the commentator curse. It is a real thing. Except I'm not talking about free throws on national TV. I'm talking in my room to people online. And of course, Embiid did. I believe that I jinxed Joel Embiid, and I especially believe so because one of the things that I mentioned was his lack of versatility on defense. Bam and AD fit better or work better in this defensive scheme than Embiid does. I still believe that to be true. However, Embiid did have a very solid defensive game today. I will give him that credit. He guarded bigs, he guarded guards on the perimeter. Brazil tried to put him in pick and roll, and he defended it beautifully with Holiday or Curry or whomever the guard was. And then offensively, he just fit within the flow of the offense. This game against Brazil was largely just LeBron pitching and catching to whomever was. I'm sorry, I'm turning around because the game is still on. It was largely just LeBron pitching and catching to whoever was open, whether he was hitting Devin Booker on the fast break for a three, whether it was lobs to Jason Tatum. It was just Embiid fit very nicely into this game plan today. And I think that it was much needed for him. It was much needed for Team USA and Steve Kerr. I had mentioned in my previous recording that I was not ruling out the possibility of Joel having a game like this and that he at some point Team USA was going to need him. Every time throughout these Olympics that things have gotten slow or stagnated, somebody has come in, whether it's Anthony Edwards against Puerto Rico, whether it was Kevin Durant in the Olympic opener against Serbia, it was Joel Embiid against Brazil. It could very well be Jason Tatum against Serbia again in this upcoming game. And it was just really reassuring to see Embiid have a performance like this because he's now in rhythm with the rest of the team. He's in a flow. He understands what is needed of him. And I don't want to downplay the type of transition it was for a guy like Embiid to fit on this USA team because this USA team, they play with a lot of athleticism. They get up and down. They spend a lot of time on the perimeter, drive, kick. It's not the offense that Embiid is used to being a part of in Philly, where pretty much every possession runs through him at some point. It is a difficult adjustment for pretty much any superstar to make. So that's why I was not just piling onto him because I didn't feel it was fair. I didn't feel it was warranted because there was some, I don't want to say culpability. Culpability isn't really the word, but it just comes down to the system. In the NBA, 98% of the players have to fit into a specific system. Unless you're a super duper star, you need to go to the organization, to the coach that is best going to maximize your talent. And when you get to Team USA, you concentrate all of the best players onto one roster. And now instead of like 15 or 20 superstars in the NBA being able to work in whatever system, it's only 3 or 4 now on this team. I wanted to get this video out because I wanted to I selfishly want to take credit for jinxing Joel Embiid. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. Thank you guys so very much for coming to hang out with me today. As always, everything I'm associated with is down in the description box below. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on this video. Drop a comment as well. It really helps out with the algorithm. If you do any of those three things, you'll become my new favorite person. And with that, I will see y'all in the next one.